All right, been some time. Wanted to make a video. So took a little bit of a time to kind of think about how to proceed from here on forth. Um, Basically, to summarize, since the last time I made my videos, was basically came to a point where we could say that got some wins, sleeping better for some time now, over a month now, sleeping better. My weight is also better consistently. I'm around 115, revolving around 115, 120, but doesn't go much lower than that. And I've been able to keep that up. And still don't need a mouth guard. So my whole jaw thing is better. And so moving forth from here, what I've been thinking about is like what's the best course of action. This is where I realized that sometimes it could be easy to get stagnated a little bit because I got some minor wins and I'm a little bit also exhausted from just doing all the stuff, right? Like the doctor's therapy was, it's not like something that's quick. It's like hour and a half drive, takes a couple hours, it's multiple times a week and stuff like that. And that's just one thing. Then I have all the other disciplines to follow and consultations and stuff. But now that like I'm not going to the therapy anymore and stuff, I have some more time and took a little break, you could say. And now, without getting stagnated for too long, have to kind of think like, okay, what would be the next moves forward? Which parts of the body would I be targeting to heal and have a best shot at? So to go over some of the bigger issues, which haven't really found out a way to make a dent yet. First, starting off with is obviously the diet. I can still only eat two foods. I can still only eat sweet potatoes and salmon. So one of the things that needs to happen is just, first of all, establish a good source of where I can get the sweet potatoes. It's been surprisingly very difficult in Arizona to get the same kind of potatoes all the time. And although like a couple months ago I wasn't as sensitive to, like, let's say if I changed brands, but nowadays I'm also pretty sensitive to that, right? It's like it was much worse before. Now it got a little bit better, but it's still something that dictates the day, meaning have to call multiple places and make sure if that particular sweet potato brand is there or not. And I want to be able to get to a position where, first I can get the source of potato all the time, which I currently still cannot, because sometimes they don't have the organic sweet potato red garnet from Baco Sweet, which is like the brand that I normally need to get. And when I can't get that, I have to try other brands, which gives me a little bit of head pressure and stuff. So I can still only eat two foods. I have a little bit more leniency in the brand, meaning I don't get affected as much. Whereas like maybe a couple of months ago, if I changed the brands or I couldn't get the brand I normally get, then I get like a lot of head pressure and loss of balance. Nowadays, even if I vary the brand a little bit, it's not as bad, but still need to establish a good source of that. Okay, so that would be one of the first things, is just call a lot of places and see what kind of potatoes they have, and then try to see if I can get it from there consistently. Once I establish that, then the next thing would be to find out and have a plan again to see if I am ready to maybe start tackling some of the medicine I could not take before. Right now that I'm feeling a little bit better with after the therapy and everything, and have a couple little minor wins, maybe I can open up to some of the other medicine that I was reacting too badly to before, such as one of the ones we tried, what was it, like 3-4 months ago, was the enzymes. That was just digestive enzymes. And the person I was working with is Brett, and he was surprised that I was having reactions to those, because apparently, that's the whole purpose. It just breaks down food. Now that I'm feeling a little bit better, maybe it's time to go back. I still have those enzymes in my cupboard catching dust, and I can maybe schedule some time to take a little bit of them very slowly to see if my body can adjust to them a little bit better. Because the understanding back then was, if I can help my body digest some of these foods a little bit easier, even if the same foods that I'm eating, and it starts to heal my gut a little bit more, then I can possibly start introducing some more foods. Speaking of more foods, what I've been thinking about is switching to try a couple other fish. Now, I've tried this before, and it doesn't go well. Even a different variety of salmon I can't tolerate, right? So right now I have Alaskan, wild-caught Alaskan salmon. Last time I tried one time, I think Pacific salmon, and it felt a little strange, but nothing too bad. But then I tried pink salmon, and it was pretty bad. Like, I had immediately loss of balance and more pain in the head and pressure, joint pain, everything went up. So the variance is very little I can do. So one of the things that I've decided with food is to be very very wary in terms of what would be the next candidate of choice. Meaning just to not randomly try anything. At that time, pink salmon I was trying because it's a lot cheaper. Right now the salmon I get is not cheap. It's about it's roughly $30 a day I spend on salmon right now. Roughly $1,000 a month on just the fish. And pink salmon would have been roughly $300-400 per month. So that was why I was trying it. But then that was a bad idea, because I've decided now to try things based on what has the highest likelihood of helping me, heal me, and nourish me, while the lowest likelihood of having any kind of reaction. So, for example, a good candidate is sardines, because they are very low in mercury. And I've posted a couple of videos back that I basically have mercury poisoning from eating all this salmon, right? I have 5 to 7 servings of salmon per day. And if I can get, just switch the fish out to something like sardines, and if that works out, then I'll be able to at least be mercury free, tone down the mercury poisoning. And that would be a great thing. That could be, who knows, how that could feel, what kind of strength that could open up possibly. So that's, the direction I'm going and thinking about in terms of food. And aside from new foods that I'm planning to try out, I'm thinking the way to go about this next is going to be possibly just do a round of things that already worked, right? Before I try to move too fast. Because I have a long list of things that I would like to do, and consultations I'd like to get, and doctors I'd like to see. But as we know, in the track record, most things don't work. And also another thing to keep in mind is these things don't happen quickly, right? Getting data on your body when you have reactions, especially when you try something that doesn't go with the body and you have reactions for a couple of weeks, it's hard, because you suffer a lot more than you normally suffer for weeks a lot of times, and then you feel kind of discouraged and drained to even attempt a new thing, because the rate of success is already very low. But anyways, what I'm thinking is to do a round of things that already worked. So far of everything I tried, some things are permanent, stable daily routines, such as sleep and keeping my weight high. And the other thing was the therapy with the chiropractor. So what I'm thinking is, a couple months ago, 3 months ago, I believe, roughly 3 to 4 months ago, I got my first stem cell treatment, right? Since then, I had a huge head pressure the first week. Then it gradually kept going down, where I felt some improvements from it overall, just feeling a little bit more sturdy and less joint pain from stem cells. I can probably pretty accurately attribute it to the stem cells, where I could like type a little bit more, and just not have as much pain when I click on the phone and stuff like that, and my fingers and thumbs was not as like painful. These kind of things kind of went down. The pain went down a little bit, but one thing that stayed for a while was my heartbeat. It just kept elevated for like 3 months. But I remember that I had a note at that time that if my heartbeat was to ever go back to normal, and it was not troubling my sleep anymore, then I would do stem cells again, because it helped with many things. Just the heartbeat was always revved up all night since I did stem cells. But the good thing is, now I came to a point that I look back at my notes and I'm like, okay, wow, my heartbeat is actually not too bad. I'm sleeping pretty well. It's not like my heartbeat's keeping me awake all night anymore. So that's why it's on the list as a candidate as well. Stem cells, another round of therapy with the chiropractor, and then the only other thing I can think of is the IV for the nutrients, right? My whole idea with the IV was that initially we went there because we were a little bit afraid that I was starting to have some reaction to the potatoes, and the idea was like, I only have 2 foods, and if I can't even eat these 2 foods, then how am I gonna how do I get food? So the idea was like, okay, let me try to get the IV. Now, they told me that I cannot use it for that. So if I was to run out, somehow get, for God forbid, reactions to the potatoes and salmon, then IV would not save me. But on the other hand, I took a big bag of IV and I didn't have any reactions. Normally, I can't tolerate a multivitamin. I can't take a even like a vitamin C, or like a B12 or a vitamin D. I have reactions to these, but I took it directly with IV, and they gave a whole bunch of stuff, and I was fine. So didn't feel anything per se good that I can attribute directly to the IV, but not any bad feelings either, which we'll gladly take. So again, puts IV on the list as well. So these 3 things is what I'm thinking right now. Stem cell therapy, well, to go back and summarize, good source of potatoes that I can repeatedly get the same brand without always having to call 3-4 places every time I need potatoes. That needs to be knocked out. Stem cell therapy, another dose of stem cell. Last time I took 14 million cells. This time I'm planning on getting 21 million cells, a little bit higher, right? You can go up by 7 million cells. Gonna take the same type of cells, umbilical cord stem cells, and I'm gonna take the same method. I could take it directly in my joints or hand. Apparently it can help my hand more, have more functionality with my fingers, but I'll just take it for my whole body through IV again. So that's what I'm gonna plan to do next. And then after the stem cell, I wanna do maybe a week or 2 after that, I wanna do a couple doses of IV. Last time I only took 1, but I wanna do the IV. And with the IV, instead of taking the smallest package, if you watch that video, there's like 3 different packages. The smallest one was like just B12, vitamin C, and then it goes all the way up to something that is called Myers cocktail, which has like a lot more stuff like zinc, magnesium, B12, and a lot more stuff. But we wanted to go easy first just to make sure I don't have any reactions to those vitamins. But this time I think I should be okay to take like something a little bit more nutritious, if that's the word. So yeah, IV would be the second thing, stem cell, and then start 1 or 2 doses of IV per month. And then lastly, maybe not May, but in June, I can start another round of therapy with the chiropractor. And let's see if I can get the same bit of improvement. Maybe I start sleeping a little bit better. Maybe I start to feel a little bit more, stronger, where I don't feel as weak all the time. But so that's pretty much it. This is like it's a data thing, a data challenge, right? It's about going through so much stuff, experimenting on your body and taking it slow and being patient and not really giving up. until you have the data you need. And then once you find a good couple of things that helps and works, then again, being patient and taking it slow and doing some of those, another round of these, seeing how I feel. If I feel stronger, then I would feel much better at taking a shot at some big issues, such as directly seeing, what could help my introduce new foods, directly looking at my joint problem where, I still can't use the computer as much. I still am in pain every day, and those kind of things would come, I think, after. So possibly around July. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I will be making some more videos about this. Gonna try to document a little bit better like I was a couple of weeks back. But that is the plan for now.